So he basically silenced that lamb.
So yeah, like Hannibal style.
It's a good fucking slap.
That's so metal. Welcome to Unethical Podcast.
At just 12, these two girls nearly took another classmate's life. Last May, they boarded
Heaven, a fellow passenger on a Greyhound bus may suddenly walking the streets of Winnipeg, unsure and the decision is causing concern. Facing the schizophrenic and found not criminally responsible.
before they were exonerated in 1993.
Well, I'm excited for this because you gave us a little bit of a word and I got excited. So I'm not going to give away anything, but you gave one word and I was like, cannot wait.
How do you feel about ninjas?
Okay. Here's my feelings. My kids keep telling me that ninjas are shitty. Ninjas suck because if they were so good at being assassins, no one would ever know they exist. So that's my thoughts on ninjas now, because they would be hidden in the shadows.
They are.
Well, no, they're not, because we know about them.
Oh, that's true.
Do we though? Ninjas are so they're so swift, all right? They're so good at their goddamn jobs. The ninjas don't actually exist. It's just a series of unexplained homicides, and they need to attribute it to something. So why not incredibly skilled invisible assassins?
The most I know about ninjas is the Night Ninja from PJ Masks.
She's in mom mode. I got little kids mode. I got that.
Bobby is a ninja because she did
A high kick.
she did mixed martial arts for years, and she was actually kickboxing WA women's kickboxing champion.
Get the fuck out of here.
Your wife is so hot.
I know.
Like so hot.
I'm so lucky.
Well, let me take you down under. One sunny August day in Sydney, Australia in 2018. Are you anywhere near Sydney there, Christy?
I'm on the complete opposite side of the country.
That's what I thought. Okay, I did some searching, but you said north or south, and so my American brain was like, I'm out.
Your American brain went left and right when you said north and south. So yes, you're
Yeah.
I'm not north, I'm west, and they're east. So
All right, it's a sunny day in Sydney, Australia in 2018 when a lady named Hannah Quinn was walking home from the market to her residence she shared with her boyfriend of 4 years, Blake Davis. Blake is an actor starring as Richie on an Australian TV drama called The Slap. He also made appearances on the TV shows Tangle and Dead Gorgeous. So I gave these two the celeb couple name, Blanana.
okay. I don't know.
Hey, Christy, you ever heard of The Slap?
yeah.
Could you explain the premise of the show?
The slap sounds like that game that you see Norwegians play where they just sit in front of each other and slap each other in the face until someone quits. That's what it looks like. That's what it sounds like to me.
No, it's based on a book. And basically what happens is a pile of friends and family are at a barbecue. One of the kids is acting up, and the guy slaps the little kid. The little kid is not his. So then it just starts to unravel, like all the family of the kid want to sue the person that slapped him. And then the whole book is like unfolding of, I think there's 4 couples, and it just unfolds over, like talks about their lives and like jumps between the couples and what's going on with them. And one of them's an alcoholic, and one of them's having an affair with another one. And like, it's this whole
Absolute drama.
This is my fantasy though, to take the kids that are annoying and they are bad kids and just give them one. That's it. It's like kind of a like, really, you're gonna jump on my new couch, you little prick. Pow.
They actually aired The Slap on HBO in America.
it's quite a famous Australian celebrity cast.
So as Hannah approached their home, she noticed a man peeking over their fence and looking around a little bit suspiciously. but she didn't overreact to it, thinking that, you know, maybe there was property for sale. But she did hurry inside out of fear, as this just didn't fit right. She also noticed the man did a little double take once he saw her walk through the gate from their fence.
She's hot enough that a celebrity's dating her. Yeah, he did a double take.
Inside the home, Blake was sitting on the couch relaxing, just watching TV. And only a minute or so later, a man wearing a balaclava came bursting through the front door right behind Hannah. To Blake's shock, I mean, he just stood up from his seat and started shouting, "Get out, get out, get out." Hannah also began screaming, "Please don't hurt us. Get out, get out, get out." It was at this time that the couple noticed the gun in the intruder's hand as he demanded loudly, "Give me all the money."
This was about ninjas. Ninjas don't have guns. I'm so confused.
Blake kept shouting back, "There is no money here."
Beautiful.
It's hard to consistently do a voice, like a character voice.
Hey, Christy, say, okay, after I say Blake kept shouting back, say, "There is no money here." Ready? Blake kept shouting back
There's no money here.
in hopes of drawing attention to the situation, as the front door was still wide open. The couple had their hands up, but the man kept pointing the gun at them, swaying from Hannah's face to Blake's.
That's not how you take control of a situation. Point it at the woman and leave it on the woman.
Is she the celebrity though? Because celebrity might trump woman. So you pointed at the celebrity.
No, you pointed at the woman because he's not going to act if she's the one who's going to get shot in the face. If he thinks he might get shot in the face, he might try to fight back.
He's a celebrity. He's not fighting back. He's a choir boy. Like, he is a musical theater guy. He's doing jack shit. He's pissing his pants.
How dare you say such things about Hugh Jackman? I will fucking kick your ass.
All these guys have glamour muscles, not real muscles. That's all fake muscles. They're real, but they're not using.
Daniel Radcliffe stopped a mugger once. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
He did a what now?
He stopped a mugger once. He probably went, "Hey, I'm Harry Potter." And they went, "Oh, Harry, can I get an autograph?" And be like, "Can you stop trying to mug people?" And be like, "For you, Harry, anything." He's like, "But my name's Daniel." "Okay, Harry."
No, I'm actually Elijah Wood.
Without any further warning, Blake had lost consciousness.
You're right, Richard. He was that fucking scared. He passed out like a little girl.
Actors are not strong people. They pretend to be strong people. They're very much the wieners of the crew. Now, if you said it was a mechanic and his mechanic's wife, I'd be like, pointed at the wife.
So the only reason he realized this was because he began to, wake up.
He had to explain why he pissed his pants. I was unconscious.
His fucking girlfriend. If she's Australian, right? She's obviously an Aussie girl. She's probably looking down at him, going, "You fucking waste of space."
So as he awoke, he heard Hannah's screams coming from outside the house now. He was disoriented, couldn't really remember how he ended up on the floor, but it did eventually click that he had probably been shot, because all he remembered was a man coming into the house with a gun. He figured Hannah was next to be shot. He wasted no time and sprung into action. Blake stood up with a sudden and excruciating pain in his head, and then a large amount of blood started pouring from his face.
Okay, I feel really bad now. Thanks, Tally. Thanks for setting me up for that.
Maybe he passed out and hit his head. Head wounds bleed a lot, so maybe he just smacked his head on his rich celebrity coffee table as he pissed his pants and fell to the ground.
So what had actually happened was the masked man punched Blake with brass knuckles, or knuckle dusters, as they're called, not only knocking him out, but shattering his eye socket in 3 places, which caused an orbital displacement, which means his eye was no longer being supported by his skull structure.
Yeah, his skull is fuctured for sure.
So this type of injury, let me do it. Hold on. Let me start over. Disclaimer. This gets graphic.
Sick.
Yay.
Everyone hold your lunch. This type of injury would also bust open the sinus cavities, resulting in massive amounts of blood from the mouth and nose. But Blake's eye socket was also like the main source of all the blood. So he was bleeding directly from the eye. So he hit him just right with brass knuckles to the point it connected, what is this, the bridge of your nose
Yeah.
to the eyebrow, which separated it in 3 places along the under eye of the cheekbone.
Brass knuckles are no fucking joke, man. You can fucking kill someone easy with them. Easy. They're highly illegal in my country. I don't know about you guys, but highly illegal here.
Absolutely.
So the man grabbed Hannah's purse from her shoulder and took off running out the door and down the street. For whatever reason, Hannah says it's out of instinct. She ran after him.
I want this lady's purse, so I'm gonna knock this guy's fucking eyeball out of his head and do a home invasion.
Being that I know for a fact what my fight modes are, if it was one of you guys standing next to me and gets hit that fucking hard that it sounds like a gunshot, I'd probably go after the guy too, just because I know that my usual response is to fight.
If it was you, Tally, I'd be trying to do first aid on you and call 911, but that'd be me. That's what I'd be doing.
So it's only a few moments that Blake was unconscious that this is what was happening when he woke up. Blake's only thought was to rescue Hannah. Instantly, Blake thought of the samurai sword he had gotten as a gift from his brother for her birthday one year. So Blake, half blinded and badly injured, grabs the sword and kind of half jog runs towards the sounds of his girlfriend screaming.
Look, all I'm saying is we've done one other Australian case on this show, and it was also a fucking sword. What is it with Australians and swords?
Outside, Hannah had caught up to the intruder and a struggle ensued over the purse. The man ended up falling to the ground, which put him at a disadvantage and thus aiming the gun at Hannah again. Cue Blake, stage left.
Running down the street, covered in blood, wielding a sword.
Eye dangling.
To be a fly on that fucking street, I gotta say, man.
But I mean, he's also a celebrity too, so people are recognizing him while he's
So
running.
people are running up to him. Can I get a selfie, like, along with him, like,
Yeah.
with their phones?
Not anymore. They're not. Half his fucking face is hanging off.
Yeah, I don't know how famous this guy is, but I'm sure there was fucking some fangirl like, oh, you're on the slap. Oh God, what's wrong with the eye? Like,
I feel like he lived in one of those like Hollywood lane
gated community,
type
yeah.
places. Yes, gated. Yes. Blake could only see that the man on the ground had his arm outstretched with something in his hand aiming at Hannah. He could only assume it's the gun he believes he had been shot with. Blake runs as fast as he could towards the scene, and with one downward swing, he connects perfectly with the man's skull, leaving him fatally injured, but he did not die right away.
Is he running like Naruto? This reminds me of anime now. Like, is he running 2 hands back, just face first with a sword in his hand? Da, 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 and just cut this guy's head right off? Did you say head off? Sorry, what, describe that again. How did he hit him?
In the skull.
So like straight down, or is it like a sideways
So
slash?
he basically silenced that lamb.
That's so metal.
So yeah, like Hannibal style.
Onlookers began calling police, only knowing that there was a fight in the street and someone was badly hurt.
Excuse me, 911. There's a guy with his eye hanging down. He's got a sword. He just cut someone's top of their head off. I don't know if he's gonna eat their brains, but I'm pretty freaked out over here. I could just imagine.
Hannah then screamed, "What the fuck did you do?" as blood began pouring from the man's head.
Oh, so he's in the wrong here.
Yeah, you didn't even put your eye back in your socket. You're a celebrity. You got to look good for the public. You can't walk out of the house with an eye dangling like that. Huh.
That's really impressive. I imagine his depth perception wasn't great. I think it'd be hard to attack someone with a sword.
With no response from Blake, Hannah noticed the man trying to get back up. So she took Blake's hand and shouted, "Run."
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
The couple ran back to their place, thinking that the man was still after them. The man did stand up, hobbled a couple of steps, and then just collapsed.
I smell burnt toast and just.
He was DOA when emergency services arrived.
Yeah, imagine just seeing that on the street. Like, I guess it's not really, it's in a gated community, so it'd be kind of impossible. That must have been such a fucking crazy thing to see. Like, scarring, PTSD shit. Like, that's fucked. That's scary. I don't even know what I would do. Would you get out the camera and just take a picture, or would you be calling 911 right away, or 000 triple Z's? I don't know that maybe you'll talk about it more later, but does he have like brain damage from this? Was he thinking straight? Like, was he just like in instinct mode, you know? Because I don't know about grabbing a sword. That seems pretty intense.
He was
too.
absolutely concussed.
You wouldn't grab a sword if some guy was chasing Sarah down the street with a gun?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, I don't think I like, that's where I don't think I know for actually, I'm going to tell you right now, the anxiety would keep her like she'd be in a corner being like, I don't know what to do right now. Like my eyes hanging out. Let's call the 911. That's what would happen around here. But yeah, if Sarah started chasing after, it's just intense to grab a sword. I don't know. Maybe that's the only thing that he had. I guess I
It's
don't
just
know.
the thing he instantly thought of.
Yeah, I guess. But he said he thought he had a gun, right? He thought the guy had a gun. So to grab a sword, still like the guy could still shoot you, douchebag. Like even though it was brass knuckles. I
Don't
get
bring a
that,
sword
but-
to a gunfight.
Don't bring a sword to a brass knuckle fight.
Well, apparently you do bring a sword to a brass knuckle fight because half his head is fucking like a tin can on the ground, you know?
Back in the home, the couple were panicking and full of adrenaline.
Why were they back in the home?
They ran home because they wanted to, I don't know, get away from the bloody mess.
Clean up before the press gets there. Yeah, sure. Just get that eye back in there, a little bit of makeup. You're good.
Imagine TMZ's wet dream this would be like they got the picture of the guy with his eye kind of out and then blood all over him from cutting. So like that'd be TMZ's wet dream.
One
that's
of
all.
them said to pack a bag and that they have to get the fuck out of there because they had fear that more people were going to be coming after them.
What was in that purse?
Like now I'm starting to question what's in the purse too. Like our sex tape is finally not going to be leaked.
You know, that sex tape could lead to like another couple's like reconditioning, you know, it could lead to like some sort of like bonding among some other couple. So why care so much about a sex tape?
It's celebrities. They care about weird shit.
Why would you keep a sex tape?
Because
in your
there's
purse?
benefits to it. It could save another couple.
Yeah, I'm sure the Kim Kardashian sex tape has saved many a marriage out there. Fucking Paris Hilton taking a load to the cheek really fucking works better than family therapy. I'm sure of
The
it.
pair stashed the weapon used on the intruder in the backyard, just like wrapped it in a sheet and chucked it out the back window. The pair only packed one bag containing very odd items, including nunchucks, a pellet gun, and $20,000 cash.
What was in this purse?
This $20,000 cash they claimed was vacation savings that like they each had contributed to over the 4-year span of their relationship.
Do you think they're weird kink? Do you think they would get like bandanas, one being a blue one and one being an orange one, and being like, "You fuck me like you're Leonardo, I'll be Michelangelo. It's pizza time." Do you think that's why they had nunchucks and
Oh,
swords?
because of the martial arts weapons. I was like, I don't know where you're going with this.
Blake might be an anime fan. That's my guess. After they left their house, they heard sirens.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, they hid in like they call it a laneway for a few hours to avoid police detection. That was like literally 2 blocks away. And at that time, the police got really close to them, so they left that duffel bag behind. So once the chase wore off, the pair made their escape and kept running for 3 days.
Kate, was this just like a kink thing? Like, did they actually hire this guy to do like a home invasion rape fantasy? Okay. And it just went like super wrong. And they're like, they're going to find out that we hired this guy for a super weird rape fantasy. We have to kill him. Okay. So that nobody finds out.
3 days? What did she just kiss his eye and go like, the boo-boo's better?
That's a good point. Everything should be infected.
There's so much bad things going on. Like he needs to be at a hospital quick. Too sweet.
And there's nothing wrong with her too. Like, I get it. He's got brain damage. I mean, probably. There's nothing wrong with her. And she's like, Kate, get your nunchucks. Let's put them in a bag.
Maybe he's so brain damaged. He's like, I need my nunchucks. They're like, okay, we'll get your nunchucks.
Only grab the important things. He's like,
This is $20,000 like in funny money, not even like real money. This guy, I don't get these people. I don't. Clearly, there's some sort of fucked up shit going on, but I have no clue. I can't even figure it out. I have no idea.
it's true. I have no idea what to expect next. And you think it's a celebrity? Like, why isn't this bigger news?
So after they went on the lam, the investigation started taking place. People were able to name the people involved in the street of the 911 calls that were happening.
That one guy from that one show. Easy.
So police go in, they find $3,000 in a drawer and minuscule amounts of pot, marijuana. They search a little bit more and then they find that duffel bag that was left with $20,000 in it. That's when their suspicions started to raise and started digging into the lives of Blake and Hannah. They found out Blake's an actor, semi-retired at this point, and Hannah had a little side hustle where, in all sense of the term, she was a drug dealer. She sold marijuana.
Oh, come on.
So she says she has been an avid marijuana user for a long time. She's like 25. I'm going to say she's 25. So she's been an avid marijuana user for a long time. She used to buy certain quantities to fulfill her needs. And then she started dating Blake, which contributed to 2 needs. Therefore, she upped her quantities. When push comes to shove and money gets tight, she starts selling little bits here and there to her friends. So this sort of kind of explains that $20,000.
$20,000 of weed is a lot of weed, man. That's not for recreational use anymore. That's when you start becoming like a drug dealer,
That's a
like
lot
a
of cash.
legitimate drug dealer.
It wasn't until after the first night on the lam that the couple say they learned not only the intruder had died on the street that night, but also who the attacker was. It was then that they realized it was someone known to them.
Cheech Marin.
I wonder what happened to that guy.
Snoop Dogg.
Martha fucking Stewart.
The man who was set to rob them that day was an up-and-coming rapper named Jet McKee.
Jet McKee. That's a good rap name. I'm not gonna lie.
Kind of not good music at all, actually. I was gonna say kind of good. The beats the lyrics ain't. But also like really heavily encased the events that he had planned that day. It was all robbing, muggings, and murderings in his lyrics. He was up and coming. He got his head chopped off while he was full of methamphetamine.
He wasn't up and coming then.
Hip hop artist Jet McKee, known as Skapaz.
Yeah, he should have stayed with Jet.
So the news came to them from the radio in a taxi ride while they were hotel hopping this first night.
With what money?
Both Blake and Hannah are adamant they had no idea that the man had died, and that the last thing they knew and or saw was that he was getting back up. After the initial shock wore off, they made a new plan to go purchase new clothes and stay in hotels until they were ready to turn themselves in.
With what money? On their credit card?
All purchases were made with Blake's credit card.
Idiots.
He was leaving a very clear trail.
Just check Instagram for hashtag fucking
Slap guy.
Hashtag toxic Avenger eye.
Yeah, nobody's like noticing that this guy's got a fucking hole in his head too. They're buying new clothes on like day 3.
This was after the first night, but then they continued.
Oh, okay. I was like, he's walking around covered in blood for 3 days.
I think they went immediately to a hotel. And then after that night, they went to like a different city. So they took a cab, hence hearing that news, that the person that was hit with the samurai sword actually died. So it like basically just escalates it beyond belief, so they're probably already coming down from this adrenaline high and then hear this shit. So it's right back up. They're flighting instead of fighting this time.
What a wild ride.
So after 3 days on the run, they do go to authorities, which results in both being charged with the murder of Jeet. It says Jeet McKee.
That's even better, Jeet McKee.
Jeet. All right. So the couple claimed that the only reason they ran was out of fear of more people coming after them due to Hannah's choice of a side hustle.
Yeah, it's because the guy's chasing you. It has nothing to do with the fear of something you shouldn't have a fear of.
She was known to distribute marijuana to friends and locals, and both Hannah and Blake are avid cannabis users. However, they do not blame their reasonings for why they thought the way they did at the time on their recreational activities. They say it was simply out of fear, not guilt. They had the reason being mostly is because they hadn't known that the man was dead.
Sure, yeah. All you did was chop his head off. Just a little bit, though. Not even like the whole head, just like a little bit of his head.
They're arrested. However, after investigators get their side of the story, they lessen the murder charge down to manslaughter on Blake and accessory after the fact on Hannah.
After the fact, she was there for the whole bloody thing.
She wasn't accessory until they went, pack your bags, let's get the fuck out of
She
here.
wasn't cool with
right?
the murder. I believe she said, "What the fuck did you do?" So,
And could clearly see that Blake was very badly injured.
Not bad enough to bring him to the hospital, though. Just bad enough to go on the
No,
run.
no. Just shove it back in.
All right. So during the trial, prosecution argued that once McKee left the entrance of the house was when the threat was terminated. Therefore, Hannah running after him created Hannah and Blake being the assailants.
I totally agree.
Agree, 100%.
Yep, absolutely.
Hannah running after the man ultimately led to the death of the man who actually tried to rob them. But the defense argued that Blake thought Hannah's life was in immediate danger. And now here are the two limbs that I have discovered in studying a little bit, tiny, minuscule amounts of Australian law. Firstly, a person must establish that they believed their conduct was reasonable in defense of themselves or others.
I
Secondly,
can't see your fingers.
secondly,
She's got 3 fingers up for the listening audience. She's saying secondly with 3 fingers up.
the person must establish that the conduct was reasonable response in the circumstances as they were perceived at the time.
I think for self-defense here is equal or lesser force to stop them, unless you're a police officer or whatever, then you can go more force. And if they have a sword, you can fucking duel them in the streets. Brass knuckle battle in the middle of the streets. It's the only way to self-defend. But if you go like somebody has this brass knuckles and you gun them, that's too much.
Initially, Blake thought he was shot in the face and survived because everything was broken in his orbitals, whatever I called it.
Then he had
earlier.
every right to get a gun, but he brought a sword.
They don't have guns in their house.
Whose problem is that? That sounds like a Blake problem.
Yeah.
Imagine being on a show called The Slap and you get punched in the head like that. Anyways, keep
So
going.
let's discuss.
It's a good fucking slap.
I think worldwide, every country in the world should just legalize drugs, all drugs. And just, I'm not joking. All of this could be prevented if they weren't terrified for having weed in their house. This guy wouldn't be robbing them if weed was legal. I think like a lot of this is just like, come on, it's just weed. Like, fuck, people are getting punched in the fucking face over weed. And then they're running on the lam because you're scared you have weed in your house. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't know.
I thought they were scared of like reprisals.
Because they have weed in their house. Because they're drug dealers.
I must have missed that. So they're afraid that they're going to be in trouble legally because of the drugs, not because of the chopping a human head.
Okay,
In
so
half.
what happened in the courtroom? The defense was both of them, Hannah and Blake, ran because they thought more people were coming after them, not because they thought they were guilty of anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I don't care why they ran after doing it. All I care about is why did she chase the purse?
Yeah, that's not something you do.
$20,000 sounds like a coke dealer, not a weed
Mhm.
dealer.
That's
That's
a lot of money.
And that's
for
a
just-
purse full of cocaine is what I think was going on in there. A meth head like that's not going to break in your house unless they know there's fucking money or something like that. They must have this guy you said was,
Well, they were on the lam
They
for
could have
3
dumped
years.
it.
Yes,
they could have dumped it.
they had lots of toilet access.
And I'm not throwing any accusations of this guy or whatever. I think cocaine should be legalized too. So all of this could be prevented without making drugs this big, like behind closed doors, scary thing where you're going to get in trouble.
It's
and,
really
like,
not a war on drugs. You're right, Richard, because as you can see, all sorts of actors and actresses have access to drugs. It's not just about oppressed people and, making their way
Yeah.
up.
If this guy was a meth head looking for money, because that's what you mentioned that he was.
Yes, his autopsy said that he was basically scalped and full of ice. They call it ice.
But I mean, if that was regulated, he could have stuff that's not terrible for you and have a source for it without having to go pull a fucking brass knuckles on a celebrity. You know what I mean? Like all of this is based on like a stupid, archaic law that makes no sense at all. If you could control it, and you could make more money, you could do all this stuff and then treat people. And then there'd be less cops, less need for police, anyway.
As far as I know, police have never prevented a crime. So I think here nor there.
That's not true. Let's not underestimate the power of profiling.
I'm going to say the DARE program and stuff like that. But I'm talking from a young age too. Like you get police officers going to my kid's class and like, don't do drugs and stuff like that. Like not saying that prevents crimes, but it's true though. But I mean, stuff like that, community initiative and stuff has prevented crime for sure. I can't say cops have never prevented crime. That would be a miscalculation.
It's not really what they're there for though. is what I was saying.
Yeah, you're right. Historically, it's like police are necessary evil. Don't get me wrong, but I think more community outreach, like a DARE program. I'm not saying just DARE.
Dare
program,
doesn't work though. Stuff like that doesn't work.
I know.
Abstinence
I'm
doesn't
just saying
work.
stuff like that.
Y'all, I went through Dare.
Raising awareness.
Exhibit A.
Not everything works on everyone, but there's one kid out there who went, my mom was a crackhead. Now I understand what's going on, and I'll never do that again. Like, I'm not saying that that's happening 100% of the time. I'm just saying community outreach and stuff like that is what police should be doing versus like, anyways, it's turning into a different conversation. I'm just saying drugs should be legalized. This whole thing would be prevented.
Word, bro. So if y'all were the judge or the jury in this case, what would you give them? What sentence would you give both Blake and Hannah?
I don't know what the
Manslaughter.
murder-
Excuse me. It was
Manslaughter?
I charged for manslaughter.
sorry, I don't know what the typical sentence for manslaughter is in Australia, but he should get that because he's a fucking moron going out with his sword into the middle of the street, slicing someone's head.
Okay.
He had brain damage.
Yeah.
though.
Hit
That's true.
very hard
That's
in
true.
the face. Broken face.
Honestly, I think in this situation, I blame her far more than I blame him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really do. I think she escalated the situation to a point where tragedy was no longer.
And she took
preventable.
full control after it happened. She took him
Yeah.
back to the house and packed the stuff and threw the sword out the window. She was the one that was in control of it. There's no way he would have been he would not have had all his faculties because he just had his
Guaranteed.
fucking face
Guaranteed.
bashed in.
All he's responsible for is those nunchucks. That is it. Guarantee it. He grabbed the nunchucks.
Yeah.
Because that's the stupidest thing that they brought with them.
I need these.
Consistency.
Yeah, there's the whole like guy need to protect my woman attitude he had, and her running out there just made it worse for him to like, he probably felt responsible to like save her life too.
But how like Hollywood, right? Why not just get on your goddamn phone that costs $1,000 and call 000?
The whole if we're talking like just in this situation, the whole thing would be prevented by just calling 911 right off the bat after this guy broke in.
Yep, but it was onlookers that
Yep.
ended up
Yeah.
being the callers,
Or
you know, the source of the helicopters.
As far as I know from, I mean, I've never been a drug dealer, but
I have wait.
First and foremost,
I have been associated very closely with some, and from what I have gathered, being around them and spending time with them, they are all very, very paranoid people. So I can imagine that Hannah was freaking out, and she's like, he's got my bag, he's got my, that's got all my secret stuff in it, and she's paranoid. And then she watches her boyfriend cut his head off, and she's like, oh, I'm even more paranoid now. So the paranoia is just like, I mean, down here our laws are so fucking strict when it comes to drugs. So the idea of her getting caught with that amount of cash, and like you said, there's no way she just had pot in her house. You don't have 20 grand laying around if you're selling marijuana. Down here with the laws being so strict, she would have fucking freaked the hell out.
and on that note, with the laws being very strict, this trial actually turned into more of a drug trial than a murder trial.
Exactly.
And Blake was found guilty of manslaughter and sentenced to 2 years and 9 months on probationary terms for manslaughter. And Hannah went home that day alone to await her trial for accessory after the fact, and thus sentenced with 2 years to serve community service.
I'm sorry, what did he get?
2 years, 9 months unprobationary prison time for manslaughter. He's in prison.
He went to jail.
Yes.
He went to prison, and she got to go home with community service.
Yeah, ankle bracelet, basically.
That's fucking bullshit.
There's the unethical part. So during the sentencing for Hannah, not for Blake, during the sentencing of Hannah, which was after Blake was already sentenced, the judge stated that she did not believe that McKee was pointing the gun at Hannah at the time of Blake's alleged counterattack. She does believe the intruder had the gun pointed at them in the home, but after Hannah ran after the man, she believes Hannah struck the man, causing him to fall, and that the gun was never pointed at her.
Yeah, so you said that there was an altercation on the street that caused him to fall. which we knew.
Yeah. He tripped.
But she's saying that the gun was never present at the time, and so fucking what's his nuts didn't have any reason to cut his head off.
Blake, he used excessive
Yeah.
force.
So she threw him under the fucking bus.
Hannah says to this day she will forever be grateful for Blake's heroic actions that day, because in both of their eyes, she was the next one to be shot.
Oh, I'm sorry. So the judge didn't believe the gun
The
was
judge
there,
doesn't believe him.
but she said the gun was absolutely pointed at her at the time.
And so do bystanders. So does Blake.
And the witnesses say that too.
And the witnesses say that too. Yep. But the onlookers also say that Blake was possibly holding a stick
He cut his head off with a stick.
because they were so far away. Up
Nice
up
job.
top. Yep, up top. Like in so basically they lived on like high rises, if that makes sense. Really tall. You got to take an elevator to your suite.
Crack towers, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's the kind of community they lived in. So people were calling from way above, watching the street below, saying someone is being assaulted with a stick.
And it's a pretty fucking sharp stick because he just cut his head off.
Yeah, but they did find a gun on scene. The investigators did find a gun on scene. It was approximately 50 feet away from him, but again, he did stand up and stagger away.
Was it loaded?
It was a fake,
Yeah.
spray painted to look
Yeah.
real.
That would explain why he used them brass knuckles.
He never shot him.
It's because it's basically impossible to get hold of a gun down here.
That would explain why he never shot him.
Do we even have any proof that it was in fact Jeet that hit him?
Yes, he was the man found in the street.
Yeah, but I mean, is this potentially something that maybe like she hit him or something to make it look like self-defense? Is there any way to prove that it was Jeet who in fact hit him before he went out there?
By Hannah's witness
Oh.
account. And well, really Blake being there, being like, all of a sudden I was unconscious, and how can Hannah break his face like that?
Brass knuckles.
With brass
How can
knuckles?
anything else break his face like that?
I could fuck up a face with
That's
brass
what I mean.
knuckles,
So
for
it's
sure.
pretty obvious what had happened.
Yeah.
And also there were like the waves in his eyebrow of the brass knuckles weaving through the
Yeah.
knuckles.
But they were this guy's brass knuckles for sure.
Oh, they were on his hand still.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, cool.
Yes.
Then that's a little more believable. Yeah.
They were on his hand.
She's a fucking
But they call them knuckle dusters.
she's a fucking shady bitch.
in Australia.
That is really shady. Yeah.
There was a psychologist that did take the stand in both. It was a different psychologist, but each took the stand in their defense. Hannah, they say it's a fight or flight defense mechanism. We all have it. It's in us. So she was fighting at the time of trying to get that purse back. She was in fight.
Yes,
mode.
but I don't know. It's counter survivalistic to pursue a threat. Standing your ground and facing a threat is one thing, but pursuing one, that's it. Like I don't know.
Unless the fight was, if I don't get this purse back, I'm going to jail for a very long time. Then you're in fight mode.
I think they were going to jail regardless.
I believe that purse had something much more valuable than regular purse things inside of it.
They never went into it.
Exactly.
I'm shocked.
No, I know. And they would have never known, because if they,
Well, if they got the purse back, they could.
They
have gotten
did.
rid of-
They did get it back. It was in Hannah's possession, but she could have emptied.
exactly is what I'm saying. Even if they would have never really, the cops would have never found out what was actually in there. It could not even have been a
True.
purse. It might have been a fucking brick of some. It might have not been like, you didn't see the purse. You know what I mean? Nobody saw the purse except for them,
Mhm,
saying the
mhm.
purse ran away.
Mhm.
So I just feel like that's where, because you're right, Christy, when you are, if you're a drug dealer, most of these guys are paranoid as fuck. Right. So if you're a drug dealer and you're running after the guy who stole your shit, that's not a paranoid move anymore, unless you're actually being paranoid by chasing them because of what's in that fucking bag. Right. So I don't know. I agree that purse had something else in it, or that wasn't a purse at all. And she was saving her own ass this entire time.
If it's stolen by a drug seeker, what does that matter? You're not going to go to prison. I mean, unless they find that purse like on his person with the drugs in it, kind of thing. But
His eye is fucking mashed up. He's got to go to the hospital. So they're going to ask a lot of questions. They're going to go look for him. And if there's a chance that the police might find of what he was stealing, the guy who assaulted her husband, her boyfriend,
I think it'd be more likely she owes higher ups money
it could
or,
be. Yeah,
or drugs.
for sure.
She's
Yeah.
more scared that she's going to be killed for
Yeah.
losing something that was in that purse, or like a phone that had incriminating numbers
There
in
you
it that
go.
could blow open the drug ring, like something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think there's something more valuable or something that she was, if she's in fight mode, it's because she was going to jail. It's not about getting hurt anymore. It's about like, or not going to jail or getting murdered, right? At the end of the day, too, with the judge giving her probation and him jail time. I'm sorry, that's just the way the law works.
That's
You
horseshit.
kill someone though, it doesn't matter if it's by accident or whatever, you're getting something for it. That girl pushed a guy down,
Mhm.
you know, like
It's horse
It is
shit. How
horseshit.
could he not have brain damage? He just got hit with brass knuckles.
yeah, it's horseshit. I agree, it's horseshit. It's just it's not fair. The law, a lot of the time, the law's not fair at all. But it is.
Final question for y'all. All right. Think about this one a little bit. What would or could you do when you think someone you love is going to be killed? Tough one, huh?
You're a little much today.
Mm.
How much do I love them?
A lot. You're going to marry them.
If it was my if it was my children, anything.
Yeah, exactly. If it was Jack, man, I'd get a big fucking hammer and I'd swing with the pointy end. You know what I'm saying?
It's Jack. There you go. It's like the person you love the most. is gonna
Would I
be killed.
pursue them? No, because I am going to be more concerned with, hey, someone I love has their fucking face bashed open and needs medical attention. Then I'm gonna give a fuck about the guy running
No,
down the street.
she's fucked up, this bitch. I don't like her at all. They planted recording devices in their house, and one of the conversations that were recorded was, so he says, I don't want to go back to jail. You've already put me in jail once. And she says, I put you in jail. He says, you did. She said, did I kill someone? Blake, you did. Hannah, did I follow him out with a fucking sword? Blake, you did. You followed him out and pushed him over, you fucking idiot. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be in this situation.
Yeah, it summarizes what we just like. That's he even agrees. Like, what the fuck are
Exactly.
you doing? You should have got me a band-aid, you bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should have stayed with me and shoved my eye back in instead of chasing the guy out to get you back. So
Well,
Yeah,
I do agree.
that's the missing piece. Like, for real, I would chop a dude's head off with a sword if he was in my house and had no intention of
Yeah.
leaving, for sure.
It's a hard
But
one though.
no,
It's
if
like
he leaves, I'm not going to follow him out to get back whatever he took from me. I don't care what it was, unless it was Jack, of
Yes.
course. If he took Jack,
yes.
yeah, I'd follow him out with a sword.
I don't know. I like obviously I'm gonna do whatever
Yeah.
I could to save my family members or one of you gals or something like that. But I mean, what if they have a flamethrower, you know, and you walk out and you just get roasted? You gotta kind of like they're done. You gotta cut your loss at a certain point. You can't just
Yeah.
run into a flamethrower. That's not gonna do anything. You're just gonna kill yourself.
Flamethrowers
Exactly.
are really easy to maneuver. They only last for like 30 seconds. Can't hold enough butane in them.
I'm just saying, if there was ultimate danger coming, like, and they're already gonna die, like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna just jump in front of it to die with them? Or I got like
Just wait till he's blown his wad.
Yeah.
Just wait till he's blown his wad, Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the flamethrower, exactly. Just, but it depends. Like, yeah, with kids, yeah, for sure. For sure. Dude's got a fucking chainsaw. I know I'm done for. I'm still gonna try to get Jack out of his grip, man. I don't care. He can
Same.
cut off one little bit at a time. I'm still gonna go until
But
I
I mean,
can.
I'm thinking like, let's pretend like Sarah's getting chainsaw attack guy. Okay. And then think about it. Close your eyes. Picture the gore.
I don't want to. I don't want to pretend.
Picture it. Picture it now.
No.
I'm picturing it and I'm kind of hard. All right. But Sarah's I'm picturing it and I'm kind of hard. All right.
I'm not doing it. I love Sarah. I'm not doing it.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Ah!
10 minutes later. Anyways, then but my kids are behind me. Do I run towards this guy to save Sarah or do I just try and save my kid? You know what I mean? Like there's other factors.
Well, Sarah's gonna be like, get the kids
That's-
out of here.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Sarah's gonna be like, get the kids away.
yeah, I'm just saying like,
Yeah. Sarah's definitely gonna direct you.
yes, if I
away.
can, I will. If I know it's over, what am I going to do? Just plunge to my death or move to the next person I can save, you know?
But there's no other people in this
Yeah.
situation.
No,
That's
I know
what's
this
tough
guy
about it,
here,
right?
this girl here. None of this had to happen.
She did I believe she escalated
Yeah.
it a bit.
A bit. She sure
A
did,
bit
yeah.
to its extreme. Like,
That's the Minnesotan way to say you fucked up.
You fucked up. You fucked up.
This is unethical. I can't believe he went to prison. I'm mad. I'm mad he went to prison.
He
for
killed
this.
someone, Celeste. I don't know what
He
to tell
killed
you.
someone. I don't care. Vince Lee also killed someone. He didn't go to prison.
He'll be out in 2 years.
He ran outside with a sword. He had intent. Like, he's lucky he just got.
Vince Lee brought a knife on a fucking Greyhound with the intent of killing aliens with it.
Vince Lee was mentally ill. This guy here got a punch in the face.
So was he. He got his brain rattled around.
It's different. It's not
inside
the
his
same.
fucking skull.
He's lucky to get manslaughter.
This guy had lethal doses of ice in his veins. He had lethal doses of methamphetamine.
Blake did?
Jeet.
Oh, Jeet did. Should have just let nature take its course.
So he's gonna die anyway. That's even funnier. He was about to OD, but you killed him, so now go to jail.
So that was probably what contributed to a lot of the blood loss. Because your heart is like, boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure. Meth is like
If you
that.
just hold off.
Your brain feels like that too. Boop, 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 boop.
I'm
Constant rave.
never had the pleasure, so
Yeah, don't.
thank
It's
you.
not worth it. Stay away from that one. Coke is okay.
Well, meth is kind of fun.
No, it's not
Kind
fun
of-
at all.
It's kind of fun.
Well, it's kind of fun.
Okay, Richard, because you and I
uh,
are both sweaty, hairy beings, I'm gonna say you and I
Well,
will stay off meth.
You
You sweat a lot.
I'm gonna go with it's
Sweat a lot. Maybe
Maybe
that's why he sweats, because he's on meth.
Richard,
Okay. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just gonna have to straight up tell you no, sir.
What if I want to do meth though?
Excuse me, no, sir.
No, sir.
I'm not on meth. I'm not on meth. No. I'm gonna dig a hole. My final words for this is legalize drugs, all of them.
Fuck that bitch.
That's all I have to say. Like, fuck, man, so stupid.
I don't really have any fine words. Don't lose your head.
Don't keep $20,000 fucking cash in your house, you fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Unless you're a drug dealer,
Then don't keep it anywhere else.
Yeah.
don't bring it to the bank. They're gonna ask questions.
Don't be like, I'd like to deposit this for $25,000, please, sir.
It was a gift.
It's fine. I just sold a lot of shit on Facebook Marketplace. Okay. It's all good.
I couldn't sell everything in my house for 20 grand. Literally
Nah,
everything.
man.
Not unless I sell my fucking equipment. I'm not willing
My
to
car's
part.
not even worth that.
No, I could sell my car and everything in my house. I'd get like 6 grand probably. Maybe 6 grand for everything I own.
I do want to thank you, Tally, for the gory episode. I did appreciate that a lot. That was cool.
Okay.
Buddy's
Very
Eye
good.
hanging out. That's my bread and butter. That's the kind of stuff I like.
You're welcome. I love that you guys are always so excited for my stories. It makes me feel like I'm worth something.
are.
That was like the nicest turned into the saddest thing at once. Good for
Sorry,
you. You are
so
worth something.
really good at that.
Um,
I'm too much most of the time.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. Head on over to our Facebook and Instagram to join in on the conversations about all things unethical. Just search Unethical Podcast. You can also find us on Patreon, where you can get access to all of our super awesome content, uncut videos of our discussions, and early release of all the episodes. We are adding fun stuff all the time, so you should definitely come and check it out. Thanks again. We appreciate all of you.